So in this lecture, we are going to see how to find inverse Z transform of some function of Z. Mainly, there are three different methods to find inverse Z transform. Firstly, we'll take a definition. If Z transform of f of k is equal to f of z, then this is a notation for inverse Z transform. We read this as Z inverse of f of z is equal to f of k. And how to get this f of k? We saw the definition of Z transform. We just recall that definition. Z transform of f of k is equal to summation f of k into z raised to minus k. So this was the definition of Z transform. So we want to find what is f of k. So you can see here f of k is nothing but the coefficient of z raised to minus k. So if you can write this given function f of z in the form of summation, then the coefficient of z raised to minus k gives us the inverse Z transform. Okay, and for finding the inverse Z transform, we are having three different methods. The first method is power series method. Now, what is a power series method? We are given the region of convergence. Okay, region of convergence is given in the problem. If that region of convergence in the form mod z less than mod c, then try to bring the term which is less than 1. Okay, try to bring the term which is less than 1. Then do the expansion. Okay, try to bring 1 upon 1 plus or minus this term z by c. And then using the formula of 1 upon 1 plus y or 1 upon 1 minus y. Already we saw these two formulas. By using this formula, do the expansion. As we are having z by c, so we get the positive powers of z, and then the coefficient of that positive power of z, that is z raised to k, it gives us f of minus k. Okay, actually z raised to minus k, its coefficient is nothing but f of k. But if we get the positive power of z, means instead of minus k, if we get plus k, then that coefficient of that term will be f of minus k. And then replacing minus k by k in the corresponding coefficient, we can get the value of f of k. Now, if the region of convergence is of the form mod z greater than 1, then try to bring the term which is less than 1. Okay, try to bring the term which is less than 1. To get less than 1, we take this z to other side. By that, we get the term which is less than 1. And then try to bring this c by z into that function, in that function f of z. And then do the expansion. Again, use either of this formula. Do the expansion. If you get the negative power of z, then the coefficient of z raised to minus k gives us the answer. If we get the positive power of z, then it gives us f of minus k. If we get the negative power of z, it gives us f of k. Okay. So what are the basic things we have to remember in inverse Z transform in this power series method? First of all, try to write the terms. Try to separate out the denominators. If you are having z minus a or z plus a, whichever term is there, try to bring the term in this form first. If you are having the multiplication of term in the denominator, separate it by partial fraction. Okay, first of all, try to get the single term in the denominator. After getting single terms, look at the ROC, region of convergence. Bring the term which is less than 1. Depending on ROC, either it may be in this form, mod z less than mod c, or it may be either it is in this form or it is in this form. Okay, then depending on that, try to bring the term which is less than 1. Then whichever term is less than 1, bring that term into that f of z. Do the expansion by using this formula. And then if we get the positive power of z, then we get f of minus k. If we get a negative power of z, it gives us f of k. And our aim is to find f of k. And that series is nothing but the inverse Z transform. So no separate formulas we have to remember. We are using the formula which we have already used Many times in the differential equation also we use this formula. Finding Z transform also we use this formula. So we are making use of that formula again and again. Important is remembering this, what to do. First separate out the term, then look at ROC, check the condition on Z and A, Z and C or Z and A, whatever term is there. Then try to bring the term less than 1 and then bring that term in this and do the expansion. Okay, after that compare the coefficients and get the corresponding term. Okay, now I'll take the problem, then you understand how to make use of this technique to solve the problem. So the first problem, find the inverse Z transform of f of z is equal to 1 upon z minus 1 by 4 into z minus 1 by 5, provided mod z is less than 1 by 5. Now, in this problem, we are having two terms in the denominator, z minus 1 by 4 and z minus 1 by 5. So first of all, try to separate it out. First of all, separate it out. If you have a single term, then we try to bring mod z, mod of something less than 1, okay, depending on the single term. So first try to bring the single terms over here, separate them. We can separate them by using partial fraction. So how to use the partial fraction? Take a constant term divided by this first term plus b upon the second term. A upon z minus 1 by 4 plus b upon z minus 1 by 5. Just separating them. Now, take all this term to other side. Do the cross multiplication. Take it to other side. Z minus 1 by 4, Z minus 1 by 4 get cancelled. So 1 is equal to A into Z minus 1 by 5 plus B into Z minus 1 by 5, Z minus 1 by 5 get cancelled. So it is B into Z minus 1 by 4. Now we want to find the values of A and B. So for finding this A and B, we have to do some substitution. Now what substitution we have to do? We have to substitute the value of Z such that at some value this get cancelled and at some value of Z this get cancelled, so that we can easily find A and B. So put Z equal to 1 by 4. By that, the second term get cancelled and we can easily get A. So if you put Z equal to 1 by 4, this term become 1 by 4 minus 1 by 5 into A. 1 is equal to 1 by 4 minus 1 by 5 into A. Now what is 1 by 4 minus 1 by 5? It will be 5 minus 4 divided by 20. So 1 will be 5 minus 4 is 1, 1 by 20 into A. And take 20 to other side, it gives us A. So A will be 20. Now substitute value of Z so that this term get cancelled, this term get cancelled for Z equal to 1 by 5. So put Z equal to 1 by 5. So this term become left hand term is 1. So it will remain as it is. B into 1 by 5 minus 1 by 4. Now what is 1 by 5 minus 1 by 4? It will be 4 minus 5 divided by 5 into 4. So 1 is equal to B into 4 minus 5 is minus 1 divided by 5 into 4 is 20. Okay, here we are just doing the cross multiplication. 1 into 4, 5 into 1 divided by 5 into 4. So it is B into minus 1 by 20, and on the left hand side we have 1. So B will be minus 20. Now substitute this A and B back to f of z. So f of z will be 20 upon z minus 1 by 4 minus 20 upon z minus 1 by 5. Okay. Now check out the condition between these two values. Z and 1 by 4, Z and 1 by 5. Check what is the relation between Z and 1 by 5 and Z and 1 by 4. Depending on that, try to simplify this term. Now what we have? We have this mod Z less than 1 by 5. So relation between Z and 1 by 5 we know. Okay, relation between Z and 1 by 5 we know. But relation between Z and 1 by 4 we don't know. So to get relation between these two, make use of this given relation. Now firstly check what is the relation between 1 by 5 and 1 by 4. Now 1 by 5 is less than 1 by 4. So we can make use of this relation. And as mod z is less than 1 by 5, 1 by 5 is less than 1 by 4. So mod z will be less than 1 by 4. So what we got? We got this relation. Mod z less than 1 by 5 and mod z is also less than 1 by 4 because 1 by 5 is less than 1 by 4. Now, we know this relation. Making use of this relation, try to get the term which is less than 1. So how we can get the term which is less than 1? Here we just want 1. So remove this 5, take this 5 to other side. So you get mod phi z less than 1. And also here, we want between these two, we want less than 1. So 1 is there, but we doesn't want 4. So take this 4 to other side. So we get mod of 4z less than 1. Now, bring this 5z into this term, bring this 4z into this term. Try to bring 5z over here and try to bring 4z into first term. And we can get 4z just multiplying and dividing by 4. We can get 5z just multiply and divide by 5. Okay, so simplify it. F of z will be 80 by 4z minus 1 dividing and multiplying by 4. And here also we are multiplying and dividing by 5. 5 into 20 is 100 divided by 5z minus 1. Now what we want to try to get such type of terms. 1 plus or minus 1 divided by 1 plus or minus y. 1 is already there, but we want 1 minus something or 1 plus something. So for that, just take minus sign common. From both this term, we want 1 minus something, so taking minus sign common. So it becomes minus 80 upon 1 minus 4z, minus minus it becomes plus 100 upon 1 minus 5z. Now use this formula for both these terms. 80 and 100, you keep it as it is, constant terms. So keep these terms as it is and do the expansion. So f of z become minus 80 into formula for 1 upon 1 minus y is 1 upon 1 minus y. The formula is 1 plus y square plus y cube plus dot dot dot. This is the formula. Instead of y, we have 4z and here we have 5z. So use that formula, it becomes 1 plus 4z square plus dot dot dot. And in the second term, it becomes 100 into 1 plus 5z plus 5z square plus 5z cube plus dot dot dot. Now, if we go on continuing like this, tell me what will be the kth term. Okay, 4z square, like that. If we go on taking the terms, the kth term, 4z whole term raised to k, and here the next term, it will be 5k raised to 5z raised to k. Okay, if we simplify it, we get the terms 4z raised to k, and here we get the term 5z raised to k. So we can put it into summation. Okay, we can put all this term into summation because this is the addition of the terms. Okay, all these terms is 1 plus this plus this. So all these terms we can write into one single summation. So what is that term? It will be 4 raised to k z raised to k. 4z raised to k is nothing but 4 raised to k z raised to k. This is 4 raised to k z raised to k. Okay, so it is summation of 4 raised to k z raised to k, and this second term, it will be summation of 5 raised to k z raised to k. Now by putting what values of k, we get this first term. We get this first term by putting k equal to 0. We get this term by putting k equal to 1. We get this term by putting k equal to 2. So k is taking values from 0 to infinity. We have to check for which values of k we get this summation. First value we get when k is 0. Like that, for k equal to 1, we get the next term. Okay, like that the k takes values from 0 to infinity, plus 100 into summation. Again check for which values of k we get this first term. We get this first term when k is 0. When k is 1, it get 5 raised to 1, z raised to 1. That is the second term. So k is taking values from 0 up to infinity. Now, here we are getting positive powers of z. So we get the value of f of minus k. If we get the negative values of z, it will be f of k. But if we are having the positive powers of z, it will be f of minus k. Same thing over here, positive powers of z. So this coefficient of this will be f of minus k. Here we have one term, here we have one term. So we are using some f1 for this function and f2 for this function. So the coefficient of z raised to k in the first series that we denoted by f1 of minus k, it will be 4 raised to k. K is taking values from this 0 to infinity. And for second term, actually we are interested in finding f of k. So wherever k is there, replace it by minus k or replace minus k by k. So here we take minus k, here also replace it by minus k. Okay, minus of minus k it become plus. So 4 raised to minus k greater equals 0. And if you multiply both the side by negative sign, then k become less equal 0, because there is a property. If we have a less equal b, and if you multiply by minus sign, then inequality get reversed. Minus a will be greater equal minus b. If a is less equal b, then minus a is greater equal minus b. Okay, that inequality get reversed. Okay, so if you multiply both the side by minus sign, k become less equal 0. Do the same thing for the second term. Coefficient of z raised to k in the second series, assume it is f2. As it is a positive power, so we get minus k, positive power of z. So this will be f of minus k. That will be f of 5 raised to k. For k, taking values from this 0 to infinity. Okay. Now we want f of k. So wherever minus k is there, replace it by k. Change the sign of k everywhere. So f2 of k will be 5 raised to minus k. Changing the sign of this, and this. So it will be f of positive k will be 5 raised to minus k greater equals 0. And minus k greater equals 0, if we multiply both the side by negative sign, we get k less equals 0. Okay, now put these values over here. So f of k become minus 80 into f1k. These are the constant terms, so we keep these terms as it is, keeping these two terms as it is. So minus 80 into f1k plus 100 into f2k. But what is f1k? f1k is 4 raised to k and f2k is 5 raised to minus k. And for both, we are having k less equals 0. So commonly, we have k less equals 0. So the inverse Z transform of the given function f of k will be minus 80 into 4 raised to minus k plus 100 into 5 raised to minus k. So if we have two terms in the denominator, two or more terms in the denominator, first separate them out, then check which terms are there in the denominator, z minus a, z plus a. Get the relation between mod z and mod a. Bring the term which is less than 1. Then whichever term is less than 1, bring it into f of z. Do the expansion. If we get positive powers of z, then that gives us the value of f of minus k. Replace, change the sign of k everywhere. That gives us f of positive k. And then that will, combining all this term, it gives us the inverse Z transform. Okay. If we now consider the next problem, find the inverse Z transform. F of Z is equal to 1 upon Z minus 3 into Z minus 4, provided mod Z greater than 3 and less than 4. Now, again we have product of two terms here, Z minus 3, Z minus 4. So first of all, separate them out by using partial fraction. So firstly use partial fraction. 1 upon z minus 3, z minus 4, we can write it as a upon z minus 3 plus b upon z minus 4. Just separating them by using partial fraction. Now do the cross multiplication. Take all this term to other side. So 1 is equal to a into z minus 3 get cancel, a into z minus 4 plus b into z minus 4 get cancel. It will be b into z minus 3. So 1 is equal to a into z minus 4 plus b into z minus 3. Now substitute the value of z so that this term get cancelled. By that we can get a. So put z equal to 3. So 3 minus 4 will be minus 1. So a will be, take minus sign to other side, it become minus 1. So a is minus 1. Now put z so that the coefficient of a get cancelled. So put z equal to 4. This term becomes 0. B into 4 minus 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. So b will be 1. So for z equal to 4, b is 1. Put these values back to f of z. So f of z become a, that is minus 1 by z minus 3 plus b is 1. It is 1 upon z minus 4. Now look at the ROC. Check the condition between z and 3 and check the condition between z and 4. Now we know the relation between z and 3 as mod z is greater than 3 and mod z is less than 4. So make use of these two conditions. Mod z greater than 3 and mod z less than 4. Now making use of this condition, try to bring the term which is less than 1. We want the term less than 1. So take this z to other side. So mod of 3 by z less than 1 and making use of these two. Try to bring the term which is less than 1. We want less than something. So take this 4 to other side. So we get z by 4, mod of z by 4 less than 1 and mod of 3 by z less than 1. We always want term less than 1. Okay. Now, whichever term is less than 1, bring this term in this function. So bring 3 by z into this, bring 4 by z by 4 into this. Now how to get 3 by z? For getting 3 by z, take z common. Take this z common. And for getting z by 4, take this 4 common. So take z common from first term and take 4 common from the second term so that we can get z by 4 and 3 by z. So if we take z common, we get minus 1 upon z into z by z is 1 minus 3 by z plus we want 1 here, so taking minus 4 common, minus 4 upon minus 4 is 1 minus z upon 4. Okay, so we brought these two terms z by 4 and 3 by z, and now use the formula 1 upon 1 minus y. Use the standard formula of 1 upon 1 minus y. Expand the terms. Do the expansion. Outside terms, you keep it as it is. Okay, keep this z and minus 4 as it is. Just do the expansion for these two terms. So if we expand it, we get 1 plus y square. Okay, this is 1 plus y square plus y cube dot dot dot. We get the terms. This is also same thing. Y is z by 4 here and y is 3 by z here. So we get these terms. Now simplify it. Write down this in the form of summation. 1 by z means it is z raised to minus 1. Okay, this z we can take it into numerator, it becomes z raised to minus 1. This 4 we can take it into numerator, it becomes z raised to minus 4. So what will be the kth term over here? It will be 3 by z raised to k. That we can write it as 3 raised to k z raised to minus k. Okay, we are taking this z to denominator. So numerator, it becomes z raised to minus 1. And if we go on taking the terms, we get 3 raised to k z raised to minus k. If we take 4 into numerator, it becomes 4 raised to minus 1. And if we continue, the kth term will be z raised to k 4 raised to minus k, and then put it into the form of summation. Okay, so if you want, you can put it in the summation and then take this 1 by z and 1 by 4 inside, or you first take 1 by z. You can take this 1 by z inside and then you write in the form of summation. Okay, so here taking 1 by z inside, it become 1 by z plus 3 by z square plus 3 square by z cube plus dot dot dot. And here taking keeping this term as it is constant, 4 is a constant, so you're keeping this term as it is, 1 plus z by 4 plus z square by 4 square plus dot dot dot. And now write down this in the form of summation. Now this is 3 square by z cube, 3 by z square. So the corresponding k term will be 3 raised to k upon z raised to k plus 1, or 3 raised to k minus 1 upon z raised to k. You can write any of the term. So it will be z raised to minus 1, 3 z raised to minus 2, 3 square z raised to minus 3, like that. K term will be 3 raised to k minus 1 z raised to minus k plus dot dot dot. This 4 you take it into numerator, z raised to 4 raised to minus 1, so it become 1 plus z 4 raised to minus 1, z square 4 raised to minus 2, and k term, both the powers are same, so the k term will be z raised to k 4 raised to minus k. Okay, here these powers are different, it is k minus 1 and k. So we can write it in the form of summation. F of z will be minus summation k equal to, now just check by putting what value of k in this, we get this first term. Check out for which value of k it gives us the first term. It gives us the first term when k is 1, because z raised to minus 1 term we want, and when we put k equal to 1, it becomes 3 raised to 1 minus 1, that is 3 raised to 0. So this first term will get for k equal to 1. Second term will get for k equal to 2. Third term we get for k equal to 3. So k is taking values from 1 to infinity. How to decide the limits of k? We have to decide the limits of k by looking at these terms. Check for which value of k we get the first term. Check for which value of k we get second term, third term. Like that, we have to take the limits of k depending on based on these terms. Now, for putting what value of k we get this first term is 1 over here, and we get 1 if k is 0. Z raised to 0, 4 raised to 0 is 1. So k takes value 0, then we get first term. For k equal to 1, we get the second term. K equal to 2, we get third term. So k takes values from 0 to infinity. Okay, so it depends all on these terms. Based on that terms, we get the values of k. Now, we want coefficient of z raised to minus k. So here coefficient of z raised to minus k, it gives us f of k here. But here we have coefficient of z raised to plus k. So this gives us f of minus k. And here negative powers, so this gives us f of k. For negative powers of z, coefficient is f of k. For positive powers of z, it is f of minus k. You can take f1, f2 because both these are two different functions. So you can take first term as say f1 and second term say f2. Coefficient of z raised to minus k in the first term, negative term, so we directly get fk, denoting it by f1k as this term, 3 raised to k minus 1, and carefully take the limits. K is taking values from 1 to infinity. So k is greater equal 1. Okay. Now, consider the coefficient of z raised to k because positive powers are there. So we get f of minus k, and that is 4 raised to minus k. K is taking value from 0 to infinity. K is greater equal 0. But we want positive term f of k. So replace, change the sign of each k. So f2k will be changing the sign, minus k become plus k, this k become minus k greater equals 0, and minus k greater equals 0, multiplying both the side by negative sign, this inequality get reversed. So k will be less equals 0. So what will be f of k? F of k will be minus of this term. What is this term? It will be 3 raised to k minus 1 minus 1 by 4 into summation of this, that is f2k 4 raised to that is f2k, and f2k is 4 raised to k, f1k is 3 raised to k minus 1. So f of k is equal to minus of, here there is a minus term outside, so it is minus of 3 raised to k minus 1 minus 1 by 4 into 4 raised to of f1 and f2. But for this, it is k is taking value greater equal 1, and for second term, it is taking value less equal 0. Okay. So this is the inverse Z transform. Now this we can write it in different interval. K is taking negative values here and it is taking positive value here. So we can write it this in the different way. This we can write actually negative. This we can write in this form, in the form of interval. K greater equal 1, it takes value minus 3 raised to k minus 1, and for k less equal 0, it takes value 1 4 get cancelled, so it is 4 raised to minus k minus 1. It takes value minus 4 raised to minus k minus 1. Okay, you can keep it in this form or you can write in the form of interval, because these are different values of k. So depending on that values of k, it takes the corresponding function. K greater equals 0, minus 3 raised to k minus 1, k less equals 0, minus of 4 raised to k minus 1. So these are the interval in which we can write that function. Okay. So firstly, separate out the denominator, look at the ROC. Depending on the ROC, bring the term which is less than 1, then do the expansion. Negative power of z gives us f of k, positive power of z, coefficient of positive power of z gives us f of minus k. Get f of k from that, put these values of f of k instead of that summation. Rest of the terms you take as it is, and then simplifying gives us the inverse Z transform. So this is the first method, power series method, by which we can get inverse Z transform. Then second method to find the inverse Z transform is partial fraction method. Actually, in the first problem also we use the partial fraction, but in the second method we in this also this method also we use the partial fraction. But what we have to check, we have to find a partial fraction of f of z by z. We have to find a partial fraction of f of z by z. There we find a partial fraction of f of z. Directly we separate out the term. But here we divide f of z by z and then we find a partial fraction. And after finding the partial fraction, if we get the terms in this form, z upon z minus a or z upon z minus a square, then there are standard formulas. What are the formulas? Z inverse of z upon z minus a is equal to a raised to k if mod z is greater than mod a, and in that case k is greater equal 0. And it is minus a raised to k if mod z less than mod a, and in that case k must be less than 0. If we get z inverse of z upon z minus a square, then the answer for that, z inverse of that, is k into a raised to k minus 1 for mod z greater than mod a, and k will be greater equal 0, minus of k into a raised to k minus 1 for mod z less than mod a, and k strictly less than 0. Carefully remember both these formulas. These are very, very important formulas. Making use of this, we can find the inverse Z transform. Now, when to use this partial fraction method? Okay. If you are given f of z, if you are given f of z equal to some function. Then if we can take z common easily, if we can take z common from this numerator term, then take this z to other side, separate out this denominator term, separate out denominator by using partial fraction, and take this z back to other side. Okay, after getting the partial fraction, take that z to other side. We get z upon something plus z upon something. And then by using these standard formulas, by using these two formulas, we can simplify it. Okay, so whenever we can take easily z common from numerator of f of z, then first take that z common, take it to other side, divide it by z, then separate by using partial fraction, take z to other side, and then use these standard formulas. These two are very, very important formulas. No separate, we are not using here summation, nothing. Okay, just taking z, partial fraction, take z back, and then use these formulas. Depending on the ROC, we can simplify it. Okay, you take a problem, then you understand how to make use of this. And the inverse z transform of f of z is equal to 3z square plus 2z upon z square minus 3z plus 2, provided mod z greater than 1 less than 2. Okay. Now, here you can see that we can easily take one z common from these two. And here we can find the factors of denominator. This is a quadratic equation. Now what are the factors? Product must be 2 and sum must be minus 3. And the factors of 2 are minus 1, minus 2. Because addition of minus 1, minus 2 is minus 3 and multiplication is 2. So we can find the factors of this, and z can be easily taken common from this. Okay, so take z common, take it to other side. So taking z common, take it to other side. So f of z by z will be 3z plus 2 upon, now factors of this denominator are z minus 1 into z minus 2. And now use partial fraction for this. Actually, for this problem, we cannot use partial fraction directly. We can use partial fraction when the power of denominator is less than power of numerator. But here the powers are same. So we cannot directly use partial fraction. So to make the power less, we take one z common, take it to other side, and now separate out the terms. A upon z minus 1 plus b upon z minus 2. And now do the cross multiplication, take all this term to other side. So 3z plus 2 is equal to a into z minus 2 plus b into z minus 1. So 3z plus 2 is a into z minus 2 plus b into z minus 1. And now substitute the values of z, put z equal to 1 so that this term get cancelled, we can get a, and put z equal to 2, by that this term get cancelled and we can get b. So firstly putting z equal to 1, 3 into 1 plus 2, that will be 5, a into 1 minus 2, 1 minus 2 is minus 1. So a will be minus 5. Put z equal to 2, this first term get cancelled, 3 into 2 plus 2, 6 plus 2, that will be 8, 2 minus 1 is 1, so b will be 8. So put these values of a and b back to this equation. So f of z by z will be a upon z minus 1, that is minus 5 upon z minus 1, b upon z minus 2, that is a upon 8 upon z minus 2. Now, after separating by partial fraction, take this z to other side, because we want inverse z transform of f of z. So removing that z now. So f of z will be minus 5z upon z minus 1 plus 8z upon z minus 2. And now take the inverse z on both sides. Take a inverse z transform. F of k will be z inverse of f of z. Minus 4 is a constant. Taking out z inverse of z upon z minus 1 plus 8 is a constant term. Taking out z upon z minus 2. Now we have already taken the formula of z upon z minus a. Just look at the condition on mod z and mod a, mod z and mod 2. What we know, mod z is greater than mod 1, and in second case mod z is less than mod 2. So make use of the corresponding standard formulas, z upon z minus a, mod z less than mod a, and mod z greater than mod a. Make use of that corresponding standard formula. So by standard formula, if mod z is less than mod a, if mod z is less than mod a, it is a raised to k. But here a is 1. So it is 1 raised to k. And in that case, k is greater or equal 0. And if mod z is less than mod a, mod z is less than mod a. Here, instead of a, we have 2. Then the z inverse of z upon z minus a is minus a raised to k. Just recall the standard formulas. We have taken the standard formulas. So making use of that. It depends on condition on these two terms. The condition on these two terms is given in the problem. So we are making use of that. It will be minus a raised to k, and for that k must be less than 0. So inverse z transform of this f of z is minus pi into 1 raised to k for k greater or equal 0 plus 8 into minus 2 raised to k for k less than 0. If you want, you can write it in terms of interval also. Minus pi 1 raised to k is 1. So minus pi for k greater or equal 0. Minus 8 into 2 raised to k for k less than 0. And inverse z transform of f of z is equal to z cube divided by z minus 3 into z minus 2 square, provided mod z greater than 3. Okay. Now, if we look at the terms numerator and denominator, the highest power in the numerator is 3. Here it is a single z, here it is a square of the term. So if we combine this, the highest power becomes 3. And when the power of numerator and denominator are same, we cannot directly use partial fraction. So in that case, we have to reduce the power of numerator. And you can see that we can easily take one z outside. This we can write it as z into z square. So easily one z can be taken common. Okay, and if we can take z easily common, we use partial fraction method. So what to do? Take z to other side. Take one z to other side, divide both terms by z. So f of z by z become z square upon z minus 3 into z minus 2 square. And now use partial fraction for this. Now, this is a linear term. So we get some arbitrary term upon z minus 3. Now this is repeated and repeated 2 times. So first of all, we take one constant upon z minus 2 single term plus some constant upon z minus 2 square. What is the partial fraction for this? It will be a upon z minus 3 plus b upon single term z minus 2 plus c upon z minus 1 square. Okay, so don't forget to take each power. If you are having cube here, then we take first single term, square term, and then cube term. But generally, you have a problems in which maximum power will be of 2. So it doesn't have to go further. Single term and square power terms. Okay. Now do the cross multiplication. Take all this term to other side. And then cancel the terms. Then z square become a into z minus 3. Z minus 3 get cancelled. We get z minus 2 square plus b into z minus 2. 1 z minus 2 get cancelled. So remaining term is z minus 3 into z minus 2 plus c into z minus 2 square term get cancelled from both sides and we get z minus 3 only. Okay, just taking all this term to other side and then cancelling the terms, remaining terms will be the coefficients of this ABC. Now, we already saw how to get ABC by using, by doing some substitutions for Z. Substitute the values of Z so that some of the terms get cancelled. So you can see if you put Z equal to 3, this term get cancelled, this term get cancelled, and we can easily get A. So put z equal to 3. For z equal to 3, it becomes 3 square equal to a into 3 minus 2 square. 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 square is 1. So a will be 3 square, that is 9. B into 3 minus 3 is 0. C into 3 minus 3 is 0. So we get the value of a by using z. So z equal to 3, we get a equal to 9. Now, check whether any other substitution so that two terms get cancelled. Yes, if you put z equal to 2, this term get cancelled, this term also get cancelled. So by putting z equal to 2, 2 square will be 0 plus c into 2 minus 3. 2 minus 3 is minus 1. Taking this minus 1 to other side, 2 square by minus 1 will be minus 4. So c will be minus 4. By putting z equal to 2, c will be minus 4. Now, check whether any other substitution is there so that some of the term get cancelled. Now you can see that there is no other term, so that by substituting two terms get cancelled. Because z equal to 3, these two get cancelled. Z equal to 2, these two get cancelled. But there is no term so that the other two terms get cancelled. So what to do in that case? In that case, you just simplify it, open this bracket, then compare the coefficients of the corresponding terms. Compare the coefficients of z square term, compare the coefficient of z, okay, depending on the number of terms. Now, what is the coefficient of z square on left hand side? Nothing is there, means it is 1. Now, if you open this bracket, then what we get? Z square minus 4z plus 4. So here z square is multiplied by a, so we get a z square. Now if you multiply these two brackets, the only z square term we get, and it is multiplied by b, so it is b z square. In third term, there is no z square term, so there will not be any z square term. So what are the z square term on right hand side? A and this b. So a plus b is a coefficient of z square on right hand side, and on left hand side coefficient of z square is 1. So just comparing the coefficient of z square from both the side. If you want, you can expand this and then write down the terms, or directly also by looking at the term you can understand which terms are z square term. Opening the bracket, this becomes z square into a. If you multiply these two brackets, z square into b. There is no other term with z square term. So only these two terms are there. A z square, b z square. And on other side, the coefficient of z square is 1. So a plus b is equal to 1, comparing the coefficients of z square. Or otherwise, you can compare the constant terms. What are the constant terms? This is minus 2 square, that will be 4 into a, minus 3 into minus 2, that will be plus 6b, and on this side we get minus 3c. And on this side, constant term is 0. So you can compare constant term, you can compare z square, coefficient of z square term, or you can compare coefficient of z. Any term you can compare to get the third value. Okay, we want b. So you can compare any of the terms. Z square is quite easy because only few z square terms are there. There are so many z terms. Here one z, here one z, here one z. Constant term also, in all three terms we get constant term. So comparing constant or z term is not that big convenience. It gives us more terms, but z square only two terms are there. So comparing that will be quite easy. Now we know what is a. So put that value of a over here, 9. So b will be 1 minus 9. That will be minus 8. So we got the values of a, b, and c. A is 9, b is minus 8, and c is minus 4. Now substitute these values back to this f of z. Substitute over here. So f of z divided by z will be 9 upon z minus 3 plus minus 8 upon z minus 2 plus minus 4 upon z minus 2 square. Okay. So we got this f of z by z. But what we want to find f of z. So take this z to other side. Okay, taking z to other side, multiplying both the side by z. So f of z will be 9z upon z minus 3 plus minus 8z upon z minus 2 plus minus 4z upon z minus 2 square. Okay. But what we want inverse z of this. We want f of k. This we got f of z in separated, just separation of the terms we have done. Now take z inverse on both sides. Constant term, we can keep it as it is outside. These are the constant terms, so you can keep it as it is. And now separately find the inverse z of each term. So f of k is equal to z inverse of this f of z, and that will be 9 into z inverse of z upon z minus 3 minus 8 into z inverse of z upon z minus 2 minus 4 into z inverse of z upon z minus 2 square. Okay. What we have done, we have just taken z inverse on both sides, taking constant terms out and separating the summation. Now, what we know? We know that mod z is greater than 3. The condition is mod z is greater than 3. So we are using that condition. Now we have taken the formula for these two terms, z upon z minus a and z upon z minus a square. These two formulas we know, standard formulas. We just need to know the condition between mod z and mod a. Condition between z and 3 is known, so no problem with the first term. Now we want the condition between z and 2. What is the relation between 2 and 3? 3 is greater than 2. So because of that, what happened? Mod z is greater than 3 and 3 is greater than 2. So mod z become greater than 2. And if you know the relation between z and a, z upon z minus a, it is a raised to k, and z upon z minus a is square. That formula also we know. So make use of that formula to get the inverse z transform. So use these two formulas, just knowing this relation and using that standard formulas. So answer will be 9 into z inverse of z upon z minus a for mod z greater than 3 is a raised to k, that is 3 raised to k. Standard formula minus 8 into z upon z minus 2, it will be 2 raised to k, minus 4 into z upon z minus a square, that will be k into a raised to k minus 1. Okay, using that formula, second formula, because mod z is greater than 2. Mod of this is greater than mod of this. So because of that, it is k into 2 raised to k minus 1. And for all these terms, k is greater or equal 0. You can check the condition of k in the formula. So by that, we get for both these terms, k is greater or equal 0. So this is the answer. Inverse z transform is f of k is equal to 9 into 3 raised to k minus 8 into 2 raised to k minus 4 into k 2 raised to k minus 1. Okay. So this is also very easy and very important method. In this method, properly remember both these two formulas, making use of that two formulas, and using this partial fraction properly, taking z to other side and then simplifying it, we can get the answer.